Hello, everyone. I just want to say a couple words and catch up on a couple things. Um, this last week has been very troubling. Nothing went right. I haven't even registered it all really in my head how it went and what went wrong in court and why I didn't have the strength to stand and certain things, but I do want to kind of I'm going to write it out. I think, I'm going to start writing. Now, I told you I always knew I wasn't supposed to write until I understood. Neither was I supposed to speak until I understood. And that's why through these years I could only give what I was able. But now through all this work, even down to these last days, the troubling that I've just went through, just even through these last days, all is becoming, clearly in focus. I understand my part. I understand what my part has been, and I have played a part. That is certain. Like I said, a helper of the faith. That is mostly what my testimony has done up to now. Like I said, we didn't have that. It's the helpers that was sent to the harvest. We didn't have. When I first heard years ago, I didn't have a helper. I didn't have someone to give me the assurance. I had to go through all this, this journey. Now at the end of this journey, and through all of it, you're made able. Everything, even just today. I mean, the last 3 days, I was troubled by everything. When you're for 4 years now, my every thought has been, on God and the Spirit and the truth. And that's all that, I can't even hardly drag myself to work because I wanted this work done. I knew how important it was. This work was finished in me. And then I had to the world. It began months ago. And then I've been speaking of how the world throwing things back up in my face, and getting my attention, putting the attention on me when my attention's not even on me, and now, and I still have some worries about this whole house arrest. I can see something going wrong, but I'm not. It doesn't matter what happens with me. It doesn't matter. I know, and I know what I see now. I know what my purpose up to now, and I know what I'm to do, and I mean, I don't see the fullness yet, but I do, and I just don't know how it all will play out. But even in the brethren, there's been so much I've wanted to comment. I've watched off and on the last few days. I've just been dealing with everything that's, I've kind of been shaking off the dust of what just happened and, in the shaking this last week with me. But I've, seen the titles of some of the brethren's videos. I've watched a few here or there. I've seen a couple, and there's been so much. It's like you see the fullness coming into view in the brethren. You see it in the brethren, and it's just that eye to eye. And I know the few of, those of you who understand what I'm speaking. But and so now is the time. Now is the time I've waited my whole life. What I knew, don't speak until you understood. I do understand. And I understand what's happened in me. And it's like you had to be put together first. You have to understand. That's why I told you I've seen some that spoke, and I know that was their part. I wasn't supposed to. I've seen some had where they spoke as they was receiving the revelation and understanding, and then have to go back and correct yourself. That's why I wouldn't speak on things as it was coming, because there was so much. So much was given to me at one time, those first 2 years. I mean, I know that's when the download, I remember when I wrote, it's a download. It's like I'm being downloaded. And it was, and it just was it's just an amazing work. And this is for me, preparing this vessel, preparing for my work, the work that will be done through me, that has been being done through me. And now we witness it, this work in one another. And it's those who don't hear us because they haven't had the work done in them. But it is a work of salvation. And, you know, even as I've put off everything and put off even my son in there, I know that Marky's only one in a big world, millions, that has, you know, I think, you know, I'm not sure how it's went, you know, with us who are the first fruits is the best I can, you know, we're the first ripe. We're the first ones to speak the fullness of the testimony, you know, and, but others, what's happened with, you know, has it just been, the Spirit just been poured out on all flesh, as it was written? And is that like one Marky, like, and it works in each one, you know, there's certain things, and I'm not going to try to get into it right here. All I know is what has been done and prepared in myself, and what will happen, and in the brethren, those who've had the work, and what's going to be done from now. We have been prepared to give the testimony. And that's, you know, we have been helped where we couldn't help ourselves. We have been made able, and now we will help others, because we're only part of this work. And I do see my part clearly, and I see there's just, you know, just know, even through these troubles, that really today, well, the last 3 days, but, you know, since my court and all that, but today just hit me in the face and all came together. And, you know, and I see the brethren really opening up, and just with the titles, some I haven't got to watch yet. Even Son of John had his last title that I thought, oh, we got to go over there and see what that brother's speaking. But the brethren know what I'm talking about. And as, you know, this work is done, it will, others will, and they are. It's already working. It's already gone out, and it will bring in more and more fullness. And it is just, it was not our work, but we are partakers, and now we are laborers. You know, it's just an amazing work, and I will begin to speak on these things fully now that I am able, now that I see, you know, and understand what I needed to. There was just so much that, you know, and when there's so much and you only know in part, you know, and there's so much also, because so much to every word, the levels of understanding, and from different perspective that you look at the word, you can get, you know, from one verse of scripture, many things can be understood from one verse of scripture. That's why the carnal, you know, there's just so much to everything. I hope something makes sense. Just know, I see the fullness, and I see it all being, you know, each of us, what's happened is each of us is prepared, and then it's the joining, the unity, the eye to eye. This is the work that has been done in us and is continuing. And I don't understand how everything will unfold, but I know all will be good. I know what the work was done for. And some things that you know, some things are just hard to, but we've been prepared and strengthened that we are able, you know, we will be made able through the work that's done in us to speak these things that are hard to speak. And now we have, you know, we've all, to stand alone. When I first began, and, you know, I didn't know, when all of us first began, we didn't have no one to confirm. Then we began hearing the confirmation, and that confirmation began being stronger. And as we started hearing more and more, we was all strengthened. And it is just an amazing work. And just know I love y'all, and I will be here soon. we're only part of this great work of salvation. And I do love you. Bye for now.